Hello, 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 everybody. How are you doing tonight? Yes, I know. It's been a long time, my friends. It has been a while since I have been on um, here on my Purpose to Freedom page or even on my personal page as Purpose to Freedom. But here I am. You can look forward to some doing all kinds of things right now. So let's see who's in. Hey, Tamika, how are you doing? Yes, yes, yes. Yes, got some changes that's going on. Yes, yes, yes. And I'm excited. I'm a bit nervous about what is getting ready to transpire. But just so you know that Alita and I will still be coming on, but there is a calling for me, and I have to answer the call. I have to answer the call. So, for those of you that don't know or not sure what in the world are you doing on here, my name is Darlene Anthony. If you're watching from my personal page, or if you're watching from my business page, Purpose of Freedom, or if you're watching on YouTube, I am in the process of creating a separate YouTube channel called A Dose of D. So, and I'll get into all of this. Today is just kind of like an introductory type of live just to get you acclimated, give you an idea of what in the world, why, how, what. But my name is Darlene Anthony, better known as D. And I am your number one mindset maven. I am the founder of Purpose to Freedom and co founder of Freedom Growers. We are helping families to discover a growth mindset while building confidence, one solution at a time. We are mentoring minds to appreciate critical thinking skills while building knowledge and confidence. All right, so hello, Mother Dear. How are you doing? So I titled this "The Return of a Dose." The return of a dose of D. What is a dose of D? For some time, when I first started going live back in 2018, I was going through this thing, trying to get used to going live and doing all these different things. And then I came up with this thing since I was going live. Excuse me, I started to call it a dose of D, where I would just come in and to give you some tidbits, some things to consider, things to think about. Then I started my podcast. It was called A Fit to Freedom with a Dose of D. And just talking about things that was going on with me, things that I have been thinking about, pondering, and everything. So all of that went dormant. It went into its winter season. Um, and it's springtime. It is springtime. And just like the spring season, things are beginning to awaken. If you've been following, I've posted a couple of things about the spring and the the return of a dose of D. So there's some things that me personally I wanted to share with each of you, and I wanted you to go on this journey along with me. I have done a lot of work in in the dark, so to speak. No one has been privy to the things that I've been doing to heal my heart, to heal the hurt of the past, of the daddy issues, of the everything, the growing up and all of that stuff. And so it's my duty to, now that I am in a place where I am freaking good, that it's time to share that story and to let you guys know that you too can get to your healing. I'm no longer sitting by the pool of Bethesda and waiting for someone to help me get into the pool once the spirit stirs it up. I crawled my butt right on in there on my own accord and said, you know what? I'm tired. Um, tired of feeling this way, being this way. There's got to be something different. I gotta loose that story. I gotta get rid of that story. I gotta get rid of those thoughts, all of those things. And you know what? As a result of me releasing a lot of those things, the weight started to fall off because when there's not an outlet, guess what happens? It comes on your body. And so I've gotten still working. I'm a work in progress. We all are, right? A work in progress. So we're going to navigate this thing. And I would love for you to go on this journey with me. Who all is in the room? I know Mom stepped in. I see a few people come in. But if you are here, please say hello. Let me know that you are here. Where are you calling from? So, a dose of D. Spring has sprung. What is so significant about the spring? If you don't know, I was born in the spring. The spring equinox just hit, and if you notice now, even with the time changing, the Earth still moves even before they change the time. And if you notice, as the Earth does its tilt in the spring equinox, we get some more days. Even if they wouldn't have changed the time, it would still um, just be different. So much happens in the spring. So much happens in the spring. There are flowers blooming. The buds from the tree comes up. We had a Bradford pear, and in our neighborhood, the builder um, put mostly Bradford pears as the tree of each of the houses, um, for the most part. Every year when March 1st comes around, we know that it's March 1st, not because of the date, but because we can see the buds on the tree starting to bloom or to bud. And the Bradford pear produces this beautiful white flower. Now it sucks when it's windy because those little white flowers gets all over the yard. And poor Michael, he was out there yesterday with the blower blowing these white flowers. Then it rained today, and guess what's in the yard today? Because it was super windy. Those same white flowers. But we don't have that Bradford pear anymore because it hit the lightning, struck one too many times. I don't know what they're doing in the kitchen, but I don't know if y'all can hear that or not, but they rumbling. But yes, I love the springtime too, but my nose don't love it. I went on a sneezing frenzy last night because we were sitting outside, enjoying the breeze, um, trying to see what our outdoor oasis is going to look like once we get all of the furniture and the installation of the things that we got going on. So we've just been sitting outside enjoying, but my nose, my allergies can't handle it. So I hate to take medication, but I had to because I went on a 15 sneeze run last night, just back to back. So I got my little Zyrtec and immediately it was gone. Yes, I love the springtime. My birthday is in the springtime. Crawfish season happens in the springtime. Um, just if you pay attention to what goes on in the springtime, you have all of the animals are starting to come back. You have the little bitty animals because they're mating season and it's time to reproduce, and just so much happens in the springtime. So I said, it is time for a dose of D. Last Monday, I had a talk with my girlfriend, and here's what happened. In January, January she has a event, a conference. This year was my second time going. I didn't go. I went last year, and I was a speaker at the Friday night part. probably the little white flowers probably was sending stuff up my nose because everything is blooming. So my little nose can't handle it. And if I don't take care of those allergies, then I develop um, asthma, allergy induced asthma. Ain't that crazy? The last time I went to the allergist, they said that in the springtime or when my allergies are at its height, whatever, or at its peak, my lungs are like that of a 70 to 80-year-old if I don't take care of my allergies. So, but um, my girlfriend Cecilia, she reminded me oh so gently of for the past 3 years what the word of the year was. So in 2019, the word was transformation. And it just so happened I started going through a transformation. I went from one school district to another school district. Jaden was, well, not so much a transformation, but um, with that, but going from the struggle with losing my dad and navigating that whole thing, all of these emotions that I was feeling, the hurt, the sadness, the um, we are not going to ever be able to get it right, to my children not having a relationship with him. And I had to release myself from that. I don't know what word to use, but it was holding over my head. I apologized to my boys to say, I'm sorry that I kept you from building a relationship with your grandfather because of how I felt. I kept them from building a relationship with my dad because of how I felt as a kid. And so I created a narrative that might not have been a part of their story, but I had to apologize for that. Anywho, transformation. 2020, last year, was about transition. Who knew that in March that we would have transitioned to being separated, being away from people? Really, that was the winter. That was really the winter. Um, yes, wow. And then this year, 2021, the word was truth. And she had the nerve to call when she called. I called her. She was like, "Call me at 5." I had to call it, 5:30. Anywho, um, she wanted to know how things were going and if if I was applying what we talked about at the conference. And she says, "How long are you going to walk in disobedience?" I'm like, oh, because I haven't been walking in my truth. And I can't see, I'm using my phone to broadcast. So, and my computer does this crazy thing. How long are you going to walk in disobedience? You have everything that you need to answer your call. And that whatever you don't have, God going to give it to you. So what are you going to do? And so here I am stepping out to return a dose of D. Yes. And so with that comes so many different things. I have a challenge that I did last year. Yes, I did a challenge last year and I want to revamp that. So it's a money mindset challenge. So if you are interested in being a part of that, go ahead and drop a me in the chat, or you can send me a message in on Facebook. I also have there is I didn't even create this banner. There is a section on the website, on the page. It's a LinkedIn, not LinkedIn, Lord, Linktree. Go to Purpose to Freedom. And I'm going to type this up and put it on the screen for you. purposetofreedom.com. And it is a Mind Your Money challenge. Mind Your Money challenge. It's $10. It's It was a 14-day, but I needed to increase it to a 21-day. Um, what 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 do you call it? Just a 21-day mindset challenge where we, you know, look at some things about how our mind is forming or has formed around money, the idea of money. So if you're interested in that, go to purposetofreedom.com and there is a link there that says Mind Your Money Challenge. And you can click on that and then put in your information. Um, Also, within the next couple of months, 2 to 3 months, May or June, I'm going to hold a retreat, a workshop, if you will, where we get women, and it's going to be for women, unfortunately, guys, because women need to heal their hurt. Once women heal their hurt, then we're able to help heal everybody else. And so you have to confront what it is that's hurting. If you do not acknowledge what's hurting, it's so hard to heal it. But once you release the hurt, release the pain, life gets so much better. Life gets so much better. I was able to release things that I didn't even know I was holding on to. And once I released those things, the weight, the heaviness, the load, the burden that you don't realize you're carrying gets lifted. And you're like, we always say, we put it on the altar, but how many of us put it on the altar? We say we put it on the altar, but we put it right back on. What a friend we have in Jesus. All of our sins and grief he bears. All of our sins and griefs he bears. But we got to leave it with him. We can't pick it back up. And I said I was going to hold y'all too long. But again, this is a dose of D, the return of a dose of D. Spring has sprung. Winter is gone, y'all. It is time to awaken from your slumber. Have you been sleeping on your truth? Have you been sleeping on your call? It's time to wake up. There is work to do. There are things that only you can do. Your gift is needed. In my stories, it was in my tea bag. You know, my little tea has some messages and it always comes, excuse me, at the moment that I need it. Ain't that something? Yes, what a friend. And so it says something about the world or people needs to see your gifts, you do not want to leave this earth and haven't shared your gifts with others. Something to that effect. You do not want to leave this earth without allowing the world to see your gifts, to benefit from your gifts, because they're waiting for you. And it's only you that can provide that information or that thing or that something. They've been listening, listening for your signal. I'm waiting. I'm listening. There's this one sound that I'm listening for. And if they never hear it, you haven't done what you were called to do. Because it's you that they're waiting for. And it's you that you've been looking for all this time. It's been you that you've been looking for. And I know for me personally, I've been looking into everybody else and not looking at me. I know I can. And so now it's time to be. So awaken from your slumber. You know, in the springtime, it's like the earth is like, oh, we had a nice nap. The grass is starting to grow and turn green, and there's life coming back, and the flowers are blooming, and the trees are budding. It's just a beautiful time. It's just gorgeous. And so you're no longer dormant. You no longer have that dead grass. Like my husband was outside yesterday and went in and thatched the yard, whatever thatching is. He got the rake to kind of rake get those dead grass blades out. It's just straw now, I guess, and get that out the way. Why? So that the new grass can grow and you can see the greenery and it's not stifled where it's, you know, trying to get to the sun but can't because you have that dead stuff in the way. Get the death off, awaken from your slumber because it is time to get to work. Go from being introverted to blossoming. You've been in your shell during the wintertime. You've been hibernating. You've been contemplating. But, a lot does happen during the darkness. I've been in the dark. Yes, I've been on with a leader, but that's from a group perspective, a tag team perspective, if you will. But now it's at a point where it's like there's some other things that I need to do too to make sure that I'm walking in my calling, walking in the way in which I was predestined to go. Because before I was formed in my mother's womb, he knew me. He put the call on me. And now it's time to answer. I'm awakening to the call. So we're going from being introverted to blossoming. Introverted to blossoming. And I had a note here. I think I'm like nowhere near my notes now. Just like my lotus flower. Um, I don't know if I can. No, I can't do it from here. But my lotus flower is in my logo. It's in the murky, muddy waters. But what it does is it fights through that murky water because it's trying to get to the sun. And that's what it is from being introverted to blossoming. You're doing your best, trying to find the light, trying to get to the sun so that you too can blossom. And I spell blossoming wrong. Lord of mercy. Let me hide that and fix that. Mm-mm-mm. Oh, now you tell me. It put the little red line underneath there after I done typed it all in there. It won't change it. Hold on. I don't want to be out here in these streets and spelling stuff all wrong. There we go. Introverted to blossoming. It's supposed to be an O, not a U. Anywho, but trying to get to the light. And the springtime I love the spring because it's not too cool. It's not too hot. It's almost just right to get your life back, to just get in the flow. And, get a little pep in your step because you're a little happier in the springtime. Got the cool breeze, the briskness of the breeze. The air feels fresh. It's just something about it. Just something about it. And last but certainly not least, adjust your approach. Adjust your approach. This spring, and with this new venture, I want to approach it like it's the first time ever. Like it's the first time ever. Like you hear the birds. Like we've been sitting outside and listening to the birds chirp, and it's like it is super noisy out here. The birds are just happy, and it kind of gives you, just lightens the load. It helps you. You're like, oh, it's just so refreshing. And you're looking at life just go by. We can hear the geese fly over at the same time every morning and every evening. We can bank on it. We can bank on it. And you're just experiencing this newness in the earth, experiencing this newness in the earth. So I've been really watching the trees bloom and grow. Since we lost our other tree, we have some kind of oak tree. Y'all, it ain't got a leaf in it. There is no bud there at all. So I've been really watching. I had to I Google. I was like, okay, so when do they bloom? So now I'm really focusing on when they bloom, what it looks like when it blooms. So it's a newness. It's something different. I knew when the Bradford pear was going to bloom because it did it the same time every year. March 1st, between March 1st and the 5th, you could see the little knots coming on the branches. And then from the 5th till now and a little bit after, the white flowers are blooming. And then right after that, by the end of March, all the white is going to be gone. And then the new green leaves will be there. And so it's a sight to see. It's a beautiful transition as they go from the buds to the white to the green. And then as they continue to grow new branches and new stems and all of that stuff. So it's beautiful to watch. So open your heart, open your mind, open your eyes, and see the world around you, because so much happens in the springtime. So much happens in the springtime. I know I'm gonna miss it too. We have the berries right next door, and we have two smaller ones in the backyard, but it's not the same. It's not the same. That was like our backdrop for a lot of our pictures, and so we gotta figure out a new, outdoor pictures. Gotta figure out something new. But I want to remind you that at purposeoffreedom.com. You can go there, different things on there. You can get access to the Faith It Friday shows and all of the shows that Alita and I do. I will be exclusively broadcasting to a different, YouTube channel. It's called A Dose of D. And I don't have any subscribers or anything. So it has this big, long thing going on. I can type it here in the chat. Let me see if I can get access to it. This long big title, and so we'll be going live there. The broadcast will stream there, and then of course house there as well. So I'm gonna see if this thing will let me go there. But in the meantime, you can go to purposeoffreedom.com. All right, your channel. I don't know how to do this just yet. So, I'll post it in the chat because I'm not. Hold on. Your channel. No, I don't want to do that. I would like to share it. Anywho, I'm not gonna belabor the point. I'll post it after this, but it'll be there. We will also upload to my podcast each episode, so you can go to Purpose of Freedom to get access to the podcast. If you would like to be a part of the Mind Your Money Challenge, you can go there and fill out that information and getting interest first, and then we'll set an actual date as to when that is going. It's a 21-day challenge. It's $9.99, $10 for you to do that. And there's something that goes on every day. When I did it last time, I got some feedback wanting some more interaction with me and just an opportunity to go through each of the steps because it's intensive. And this is just an introductory price, $10 to get a mindset shift. A mindset shift. And then stay tuned for information about the workshop um, that will take place in May or June. It's going to be here locally in the DFW area. But if you are here, I would love to have you come and join us. So stay tuned for that for the interest information, or you can put in and say, hey, I'm interested in being a part of that. We will have vendors if you know someone that sell different items that would like to be a part of it as well. It's for women, and we just want to help to heal hurt, to pour into each other, to share our truth, and to know how to grow from it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I look forward to whatever this venture is designed to do. It's the return of a dose of D. Spring has sprung, and it is time to move forward. I thank you for your time and attention and your interaction. Stay tuned. We're just getting started. Have a great evening. Bye.